Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Happy Sunday morning. Thank you for being here. If there's anyone here that probably isn't yet, and that's fine. I didn't really pre-publicize this. I was supposed to shoot this video yesterday, the top 20 list. I know the thumbnail has the wrong date on it, but that's fine. That is fine. I was working all day on I'm working all day trying to build stuff for you guys. I'm trying to make the spreadsheets work better and make the top 20 list better. All right, well, let's look at the old top 20 list. Why don't we? All right, coming to number 20, XYLG. Now, we're also this week including the yield and the NAV return for the quarter. And those are two of the inputs in the max factor, but two of the more interesting ones. Now, XYLG, you see there has a 24% yield, and I thought it was my mistake, but it isn't. If you look over here, for whatever reason, XYLG paid a huge dividend at the end of last year. They paid see all that NAV depletion right there? They still haven't made it back. Well, it was a $5 dividend. I don't know how they did that. This is only supposed to pay 6%. Their regular payments pay at the rate of 6%, so that's half percent a month. They paid 9 cents there. This is a good fund that's supposed to get plenty of upside, although it doesn't look. I mean, the theory of it's a good fund because they're only selling options on half the portfolio, and it's on the queue, so it should get good upside. And I guess it's number 20 on our list. It's ranked ahead of Misty this week. Misty dropped out of the top 20. So I mean, it's decent, but I'll show you some better ones. All right, so that's number 20, QYLG, with the 24% dividend. I need to find a way to factor the special dividends out. It doesn't happen often that something has a special dividend. Maxi does it as well. Maxi pays a giant dividend at the end of the year. Anyway, we'll get in the middle of that in a second. So number 19 on the list is QDTY, and I'm going to get the next one coming up too. So we have QDTY. Now, this is a good one from YMAX. Sell synthetic covered calls in the ODT time frame, 0DT time frame on the Qs. So they paid about a 27% yield, and that's a real yield. That's how much they pay every week. I mean, that wasn't a special dividend. The NAV return was 16%. So that's really pretty good too for a quarter. That's just NAV. So, it just this past quarter, you got 16% up on NAV, and you didn't get 27%, but you got a fourth of 27%. What is that? Whatever that is, 7, 8, something like that. So it's 7. What am I talking about? It's a football number, 28. Those are always the easiest numbers. Football touchdown numbers are always the easiest multiplication tables for me, because of the way football games are scored. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. Anyway. All right. So yeah, that's it's paying about 7% a quarter, and it made 16% NAV. I mean, that's really good, right? All right. Then we have Clip. This is based on the ETF K-Web. They sell covered calls on the ETF K-Web, which is some Chinese something or another, something I don't really care about, I guess. Well, anyway, I guess I ought to, because they paid a 35% yield, or they're on pace for paying a 35% yield. And their NAV was up 10%, so we'll take that, right? All right, let's look at the next rank. Coming in number 17 on the list is TSMY. Good job, TSMY. TSMY is based on Taiwan Semiconductor. Synthetic cover calls on Taiwan Semiconductor. This is from YMAX. 20% NAV this quarter. I almost don't know if I believe. Let's go look at that. Well, here's XYLG. Performance for a quarter was up 11%. That's really good. TSMY. I mean, I believe it, but I want to check it. That's all I did yesterday was troubleshoot. My mind is just in a troubleshooting mode. I'll tell you guys later. Let's get the top 20 list going, and then I'll take questions or whatever. The TSMY, 20% performance for the quarter. That means NAV performance. That does not have anything to do with return. Return over here is in this column. Return percentage, that's total return on FinViz, just FYI. Performance, that's NAV performance. All right, well, let's see what we got next on the list. Coming in. Coming in at number 16, we're going to have QDTY. I like this one. This is a portfolio of stocks. They sell real covered calls, not synthetic covered calls, on tech stocks. I like it. Blue chip tech stocks, 30% yield. So what that means, they made what, 7.5% of this quarter. You're up about 7.5% on yield, give or take, 28% NAV return for a quarter. I mean, people say these things don't get upside. People that don't know what they're talking about say the high. Well, they used to say that more. Now people understand how they work. But at first, people were going, "Oh, you're capped out. You get up. The NAV decay, the erosion." Anyway, all right. SMCY. Look at this beast. 122% and 15% up on NAV, not including that 122%. So that's a pretty good payday. Let's look over here at SMCY. SMCY is the YMAX fund that sells covered calls on the computer company SMCY. I mean, I will say the chart doesn't look like they get a lot of upside. I don't know how they figure 15% upside of that. It's because I get it. It's because on May 9th or May 20th, whenever, it's because if you go back to May, it was trading at 16 and change. Now it's trading at nearly 21. That's 15%. All right. Well, good job, SMCY. Who do you guys think is next on the list? Well, let's just find out together. Reveal next rank. Dizzo from YMAX, selling synthetic covered calls on Disney stock, yielding about a yearly rate of around 37%. That's a trailing 12 month is what that actually is, just showing us a trailing 12 month. NAV return up 18%. Well, we will definitely take that. We'll definitely take that. Let's see who's next. YMAX. Okay. Look at this beast. YMAX is a portfolio of, well, it's every YMAX ETF in it. So single stock. So it has Dizzo, it has SMCY, it doesn't have QDTY because that's a portfolio of funds, but it has all the single stock YMAX. It has TSMY in it. So, and it has everything else in it that's going to be on this list by YMAX. I mean, a 59% yield isn't bad. Now that is trailing 12 month. So that is kind of skewed high. The trailing 12 month skews high, especially in things that decline all the time. But this list, the max factor list, is showing the top 20. It's a momentum. It's really the momentum. So these haven't been declining year to year. They have, but not the past quarter. Yeah, look at that beast, up 11% and then a 59% trailing 12 month. It's paid $8 worth of dividends. That's nice. Okay. YMAX. YMAX at number 13. Coming in at number 12 is Sepy. Boy, that's nice. Sepy is from our friends at Neos, right? Let's look at old Sepy real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. It's our friends at Rex. That's right. It's the Rex Crypto Equity Premium Income. Got a lot of NAV return, 20% NAV return this quarter, and then about 20% dividend return. Top holdings are Coinbase, Robinhood, Riot, Advanced Micro, Mara, Nvidia, Strategy, Tesla, CleanSpark, some pretty good companies in there. Not a bad looking fund if you can get by with 20%, but it gets a lot of NAV upside. 20% NAV and 20% return. Think about that. That's the NAV was up 20% for the quarter, and a 20% return for the year gets you about 5% a quarter. So that's about 25% total return for the quarter. So this thing, definitely isn't a Ponzi scheme. What is going on? All right. Anyway, let's run the next. Let's get the next rank going here. Number 11 is. Oh, this is cool. It just shows. I didn't even know it did that. I don't even know why it does that. It just gives you a message center thing, I guess. Anyway, Carvana. This is from YMAX, of course. YMAX is dominating this, but this is a strategy that sells covered calls on Carvana. 23% NAV return for the quarter, along with the 77% yearly trailing 12-month yield. Let's see who's next. Number 10 is MSFO. All right, let's look at this one. MSFO is also from, guess who? YMAX. YMAX is dominant in the high yield ETF industry. Anyway, these guys sell covered calls on Microsoft. I'm guessing that MSFY was already taken. Performance for the quarter up 18% and paying about a 28% trailing 12-month yield. I mean, that's pretty impressive, right? No Ponzi scheme found there. Number 9 is NVDW. Nice. 16% on NAV, 76% on total yield for the year. Let's see who's next. Based on Nvidia, of course. Synthetic covered calls on Nvidia. Once again, from YMAX, PLTW. Let's look at PLTW. PLTW is not from YMAX. PLTW is from Round Hill. PLTY would be from YMAX. Yes. So PLTW is from Round Hill. It's a weekly pay ETF. I think it's our first entrant from Round Hill on here. Now, these guys do a good job. We don't have a trailing 12-month yield on them, but we did figure out the yield to date. It's about 49%. At this rate, they're trailing 12-month. Well, no, at this rate, their trailing 12-month would be about 50%. We just extrapolated it out over a year. So anyway, PLTW. But now look at that NAV return. What is going on with that? Your NAV's up 50%, and even this quarter, you've got about 12% dividend, and your NAV's up 40%. This one's definitely not a Ponzi scheme, right? I'm just joking. I still have my feelings hurt because when these first came out, people didn't understand them, other influencers. These are Ponzi schemes, but the erosion. AIPI is coming in at number 7. They've all come around now, though. AIPI, it's coming in at number 7, 37% yield and a 14% NAV return for the freaking quarter. That's pretty good. That is really good. Let's go to number 6. Number 6 is OARCH. This is from YMAX, again, based on ARC, selling synthetic cover calls on the Cathie Wood stock. ARC yields 44%. NAV return is nearly 30% for a quarter. Coming in at number 5 is QDTY. Okay, I like this one a lot. It's from Round Hill. They do a good job. Let's look at this one. 40% yield and a NAV return of, nearly 17%. Great job, guys. Let's take a look at the chart and see how this one looks. Round Hill Innovation 100 ODTE covered call. Well, this one's been a success, hasn't it? Let's see how much assets under management they have. Just about 700 million. And this thing really took off last August. I mean, they were going all right, but then last September it took off. Between August and September, they nearly tripled their AUM. You know, they had about 120, and here they had 360. Well, we can see exactly. And here by September 2024, they've tripled their AUM, and then they've nearly tripled it again since then, or they've doubled it since then. This thing is a monster. This thing is a monster for sure. All right, nice job, QDTY. Didn't do so well on the way down, but most of these don't. But the good thing is they do generally better than the parent company. Not always, but lots of times. All right, so that's kind of the saving grace of covered call strategies. Let's go for number 4. Why don't we? Number 4 is AMD. All right, AMDY. 67% trailing 12-month yield and about 31% NAV return. Coming in at our second highest NAV return on the list so far. That is really good. No, that's really good. All right, AMD, you're doing a good job. Let's see who's next at number 3, NVDW. This is the Round Hill ETF based on Nvidia. 34% yield. Look at that, nearly 60% NAV return. You've got to be kidding me. And that's pretty good from a Ponzi scheme to get 60% NAV return. No erosion found there, right? Of course, no such thing as erosion. Not in these high yield funds. Go look at UVXY if you want to see some erosion. All right, here we have number 2. I really like this one. This is one of the best ones out there. In my opinion, maybe the best, but the best for me. It may not be the best for you. ULTY. Now, these guys, also from YMAX, of course, they sell real covered calls, actual covered calls. They own stock in the portfolio, and they're actually selling covered callers, which is different than covered calls. But I'd say they used to sell covered calls, but then they switched last October 15th. They switched to the covered caller scheme. Covered caller scheme helps with the downside, but there's no way to totally avoid the downside, or else there'd be such thing as free money, and we all know there's no such thing as free money. In options, there's something called a box spread, which is about as close as you come to free money, and you can make what the government bond makes. But you could also just buy government bonds and make what the government bond makes. So, all right, ULTY. I mean, yeah, look at this. The NAV performance is kind of weak at 13%, but with the dividend like that. But yeah, I mean, there's no getting around the downside. This thing dropped from, I mean, you can see it from February to March, it shed 25% of its value. Now, since then, or since April, it's added 13, 15%, something like that. All right. Who do you guys think is number 1? I bet you guys know who it is. I bet you guys can figure it out. Look at that. Coney, would you take a look at that? That's incredible. This may be the best Ponzi scheme I've ever seen. 110% yield. This is the best yield trap there's ever been. And a 45% NAV return for the quarter. You've got to be kidding me, right? 3 years ago, this investment did not exist. They've invented a whole new category. It's not perfect. It's definitely not for everybody. I would say these aren't great for people that already have jobs. I'd say if you have a job, just work your job and save up a couple $100,000, and then you can really do some damage in these things. Save up more than that, obviously, but work your job, get $500,000 going, put 50,000 this. Talk to your planner, but put 50,000 in some of these things that pay 50 and 100%. All right. And then you can have a nice income and you still have $450,000 of your portfolio, a nice supplemental income. Then you still have $450,000 of your portfolio to grow unimpeded by options. All right. So, hey, Michael, thank you for being here. Yeah, I have my blocks hat on today, but yeah, I just figured we could shoot the breeze or whatever. So if there's anything you want me to look at or whatever, I appreciate it. Boy, 13 may be a record for a live stream. I don't know if I've ever had 13 on before. I mean, when I was live streaming Jay, I think I had 40 or 50 on, but just me sitting around talking about erosion not usually a huge market to hear an old man bitch about erosion, bitch about how it's not a thing. Boy, if I believed in erosion, I'd have 10 times the views. But anyway, accuracy before gaslighting here. All right, Michael, you're anxious to see how blocks performs. It looks to pay about 36 on an annual basis, but it might also be geared. Okay, this thing is a beast. This thing is a beast because they're selling covered puts. A covered put does not impede your upside. They own stock, plus they sell a covered put. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as free money, so a covered put does do something, and it makes you have more downside. If you in a down market, blocks will do worse than a fund than just a normal covered call fund. But in an up market, they will do better. And in a sideways market, they'll both do well. The sideways market is made for selling option type strategies. But in an up market, they're going to be totally unimpeded by the option strategy because they're selling put spread. Well, that obligates you to buy stock. Well, if the market goes up, you get to keep your premium over here from the put spread. And the market and the stock does what it's going to do anyway, and they have good stocks in there as long as crypto is all right. Let's look at blocks. Yeah, blocks is the most exciting thing out there right now. Well, I'm literally gonna drop. I promise I'll do it Monday. The reason I haven't done it yet is because I need to make a show about it. Those are some of the best shows, and so it's more than just doing it. I have to write a script, but those are the best shows. Look what I'm doing with my real life portfolio. Look at the moves I'm making today. Those always do great. My station's been doing terrible. Every month it makes less than the month before, but I've been working harder than I've ever worked. So it's not my work's not paying off, but hopefully it will soon. All right. I mean, yesterday I literally spent all day in this chair trying to make the station better. So we'll see. All right. Let's look at blocks. But yeah, blocks is the most exciting thing out there. So if I could ever get my act together and write a script or have AI write a script, AI is no help. AI is terrible. If I used AI scripts, I'd lose every subscriber I have. Not that I mean, AI writes the dumbest sounding scripts. I mean, it just dumb. When another influencer's using it, and I'm not talking about any of the good influencers we have in the high yield space. They don't use AI. It's their own brain. And that's why I like those guys. Brad at Income Architect, smart guy. It's all coming from his own brain. I can name 10 of them. I mean, Health and Wealth is coming from his own brain. He's a sharp dude. Anyway, but yeah, I just hate an AI script. So AI is no help. I'll write a script in my own words and then have AI go back and proofread it and stuff. But AI puts in the corniest dad jokes. I mean, I make corny dad jokes myself, but anyway. All right. Well, blocks, I mean, this thing's a monster. I mean, so it has HODL in it. One of these things they don't sell anything on. So it's just totally unimpeded. But I forget which one it is. That's what I was working on all day yesterday. I was working on an Alti tracker. And it wasn't really so much working as arguing with AI. That's the other thing is AI gives you bad information all the time. And I would just, man. But anyway, if I can ever get the damn Alti tracker built, of course, the very next thing there's going to be is a blocks tracker. I'm just trying to do it on ULTY just for proof of concept. We made some decent, I mean, once I finally got AI to understand, computers, even AI, a computer's only as good as the person running it. Even AI, it's garbage in, garbage out. That's always been the case. I mean, AI helps, because it can do some of the heavy lifting, but it's still stupidest. I mean, you still have to. It still needs a human brain to run it. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop ranting. All right, there's Ethereum 10% or ETHA, Coinbase, Galaxy Digital. This is basically, I'm calling this similar to LFGY because LFGY also has Hood and has and Mara and Riot and some of the same things. Now, LFGY, though, sells covered call spreads. Covered call spreads are great, and they have partially uncapped upside. This is the first fund with fully uncapped upside. Like I say, it's not free money because in a down market, this one's going to lose more. Just looking at the option, other things being equal, looking at the option trades in a down market, this thing will lose money more than LFGY. Just because of the structure of the covered put. A covered put is like, if you consider, here's what I consider. When you sell an option, you get money up front, but then sometimes because you're selling an option, it obligates you to do something. There's something else you have to do on the back end. So like I say, what I look at it is you can sell a covered put but the expense of the covered put is what it does to the stock. Okay. Or that's the expense. Well, so in other words, as long as it doesn't go past your put strike, you never realize the bad part of that. You never realize there's a good part of every trade and a bad part. You never realize the bad part as long as the market goes up or stays the same. And the market usually does drift up. That's why I think these guys on blocks have such a, and it was really Jay that invented the lightning spread, but this thing's a monster. I cannot believe they won't get those other lightning spread. There's other lightning spreads based on the index they filed for, but that have not come out yet. Anyway, yeah, this thing's a monster. This thing's a monster. Now remember, the option strategy can't make it make money, of course, but it can adjust how the income comes in and goes out. All right, what else do you guys want to talk about? Eugene for Harmony. Interesting enough, not every broker offers. Well, it's new. It's new. First Trade says it's illiquid. Okay, well let's go look at that. Probably is because it's new. I mean, so I buy lots of stuff that's illiquid and thinly traded. But I'm going to use of course, I'm going to use a limit order. I mean, how many shares am I going to buy? 100 shares or something? I don't think it's too illiquid that I can't get my 100 shares or whatever, right? Yeah, that's what I'm going to, because, yeah, something like that. I think it'll be able to handle. I think it'll be able to handle my order. Let's look at the assets under management. But yeah, it's only 10.5 million under management. This thing's going to blow up by the end of this week. It's going to have twice. I mean, people are just starting to realize what's going on. There's been some Brad from Income Architect made some good content about this the other day. I'm trying to get David Nicholas on so we can ask him questions. But this thing's not going to be at 10 million for much longer. I can promise you that. So yeah, I'll take the illiquid and thinly traded. What is First Trade? Is First Trade is that a broker or something? But yeah, it is true that some brokers probably don't have it on their platform yet. First Trade is commission-free trading from Scott Trade. Okay, well, I'm all about saving money and commission-free trading and stuff. Isn't there another one that a lot of people use that's called it's also totally commission-free, and there's some limits to it. You can only like get in or get out at the end of the day or something. It's like an app that people use. But anyway, I'm all about that. So hopefully First Trade will get it on their thing. I think they're just saying it's illiquid and thinly traded to as an excuse for why it's not on there. But I'm telling you, it should be on all the brokers' platforms soon. Okay, Fidelity offers it. Now don't do it just because I said so, but I'm saying if it fills a need in your portfolio, if you need exposure to crypto, you have lots of choices. But I'd say LFGY, but also what about well, let's look at the max factor. Let's look at our crypto. Let's look at our crypto choices. We could also, if you guys, how about this? Do you guys want to see? I did something else yesterday. See down here, it says get paid every day list. We could sum the sponsors, but that's just going to be, YMAX is going to be number one on that. That's not going to be interesting. Let's look at the get paid every day list as well. So I just made a list that just compiles the top weekly payers and the top payer from each day. Now, Monday is still saying week because the other things that are on Monday don't have a quarter's worth of data in them. So it's going to say week, but which I think is kind of weak. I'm just joking. But we'll look at some crypto. We'll look at some other crypto options. I mean, I'm an old guy. I don't know much about crypto. I have a wallet with some stuff in it. But it took me forever to get that. I have a few altcoins and a few, nothing you've heard of probably. But I realize I don't care about Bitcoin so much, but it's just become such a big part of the economy. I mean, it's what AI was 3 years ago. And now we have, and then quantum computing is the next kind of thing. And they all kind of tie in together. But we'll go over some other choices. But I just want exposure to that part of the economy. That's why I got LFGY, especially when we're on a risk on. When we're risk on, as soon as Trump called the tariffs off, I put a quarter of the model portfolio in LFGY, and I've been happy with it. It's done great. But had blocks been around, knowing what I know now about how they do options, I would have probably gone half and half, or maybe just got all blocks. All right. Well, let's. I don't know how to reveal this rank. I don't know where it puts I did the programming last night, but I don't know where it puts the. Maybe we have to start reveal again. I don't know where. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. I think when I run the list, if I've already compiled the top, that it reveals itself at the same time as the top 20. So I'll do it right next time. We can go look at what it is. But let's look at other crypto options in here. I mean, ULTY has a lot of that kind of stuff in it. I mean, it rotates stuff through, but it's had at times Mara and Coinbase and a lot of those MicroStrategies. But your pure crypto ones would be YBTC from Roundhill, and that didn't make the list, but it's a good one. I mean, it's a good one. It had 19% trailing 12 month, and then it had 21% total return. What else do we have in that kind of vein? Then we have Maxi. Maxi's one that some people like. It's trailing 12 months, only 8%. But has it had 62% NAV return this? You got to be kidding me. Holy cow. It's not making the list because my list likes balance and safety, and it looks at that, it looks at balance and safety. So it also likes total return, NAV return. It likes a little bit of everything. But this thing's a beast. Yeah, that is 62% this quarter. Wow. 62.39% this quarter. Now they're showing the trailing 12 month at 26%. But why is mine just saying 8%? Maxi. The 20. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong space. It is 26%. All right. Well, then let's see what other crypto-based ones we have. I like blocks in LFGY. There's another one, YBIT. That's what I was. And YBIT is actually from YMAX. Let's see how it's been doing. Come on, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? There we have it. The YMAX Bitcoin option strategy. Now these guys sell synthetic covered calls on BITO. And BITO used to kind of be the go-to to sell option premium on, but nowadays all the cool kids are using IBIT. All the younger guys, and not even younger guys, and one guy that's a little bit older than me, is when they want exposure to Bitcoin options, you're using IBIT. IBIT isn't amazing. I think at one time maybe BITO was better, but IBIT just has so much liquidity. All right, so I mean, this one's paying an 80% dividend, but the reason it didn't make the list, it only had 7% NAV return. Oh yeah, and these guys actually they're using, even these guys are using IBIT nowadays. They used to use BITO, but they've switched to IBIT. I think they can use whatever they want. It says in the prospectus that they'll sell options on a Bitcoin ETF, Bitcoin-based ETF. Well, those are your choices. The reason as you guys know, there's few things I like as much as diversification. And LFGY has 15 to 20 stocks at any one time. Same thing with blocks, for that matter. The other ones are based on indexes with a bunch of stocks in them, so they're all good. I'm just not big on the single stock ways to get exposure. But if you want, if that's what you want, you could also use Coney, right? I mean, it's number one on the list. And Maxi's on the top, and the Maxi's still a good performer. I mean, but it really ought to tell us something about why BIT, that with this kind of rally, it can't muster it can't squeeze its way into the top 20. Not only that, it has an 80% yield, but it can't, that's that, and once again, let's talk about option strategies. Okay, well, why BIT? They use covered call spreads. Covered call spreads are great. They have partially uncapped upside, but that still means it's partially capped. But LFGY is partially capped also, and they get plenty of upside. Let's compare LFGY to blocks just in the short time they've been around. I made a video about LFGY, and I was talking about how much I liked it, and then I said how much I used to like it before blocks came out. There you have it. That's the difference between fully uncapped upside and partially uncapped upside. Also, they don't have the same exact underlines. It's possible and probable that blocks' underlines, I'm thinking that Bitcoin ETF called HODL and their Ethereum position, have also kicked in and added some extra alpha that LFGY doesn't have. They're both good funds. All right. What else do you guys want to talk about? You already have exposure to crypto, but you're thinking about blocks. Yeah, I have it. I'm loaded up. 25% is plenty for me. And that's just an LFGY. It's more like 23%, but that's plenty. But ULTY also has that type of exposure in it too, not just crypto. But so when you factor in, and also GPTY has crypto adjacent type stuff. So, I mean, I have plenty of crypto. All right. Crypto exposure, LTCN, okay, Litecoin, BCHG, HZEN, Coney, Misty, good ones, ULTY, good one, YETH, and and Block. Okay, yeah, those are good ones too. Those are definitely good ones. Okay, you think Blocks is good for beginners because it handles Bitcoin and crypto stuff. What's a Bitcoin IF? Is that like a what does that mean? EYFs? I mean, EYFs, Bitcoin. I'm thinking miner. My boomer brain is thinking Bitcoin miners. Every time I see Mara, but also then there's Bitcoin treasury stocks nowadays that aren't so much miners, like Misty or like Mister. I'm sorry. Anyway, but yeah, diversification in one investment like I say, and I don't know that much about stocks per se. I'm into more the option and the math part of the stock market. So yeah, I'll listen to you guys on which stocks are good, but we got to pick which stocks are good. Then we also have to put the right strategy on top of it to bring in to do what we want it to do. It's, I mean, look at it this way. I've never been to your hometown, and I come to your hometown, and you tell me, hey, uh, this pond over here has the best bass. Go over to this river. That's where you catch the biggest bass. Okay. But then maybe I'm an expert in lures and I've invented a special kind of lure or a color finder for my boat or something. I've invented some kind of technology. The options is the technology. And you telling me, hey, this is the best pond where it has the best bass. That's the stock picking part of it. Or that's, you can do options on anything. Oh, you meant Bitcoin. Okay. Okay. Bitcoin IEF. Okay. What? Okay. So I'm going to look that up just because I'm Bitcoin EYFS. Oh, did he mean Bitcoin ETFs? Okay. Okay. I got you. That makes sense. I thought it stood for something that meant something. If it does, put it in the comments. All right. Let's see what else should we look. I want to look at that top 10 get paid weekly every. I mean, I think you guys might like that. I guess I should have had it queued up beforehand. Well, maybe they make a separate page with it on there. I was working on this and I changed kind of how some of the stuff worked. Um, get paid every day list. Success. Get paid every day list has been created. Well, where did you guys put it? Um, I'm going to reset it and then reveal the ranks real quick. Anyway, if there's anything else you guys want me to look at, put it in the comments. Does anyone in here like to play fantasy football? I'm thinking about making, or I am going to make some content. I'm in a fantasy football league, but it starts a pro league, 12 teams, standard rules and stuff. Anyway, hit me up in Discord if you guys like. I'm looking for an assistant coach and I'm looking for an assistant owner. Somebody wants to. I'm looking for partners on the fantasy football. And we'll probably make some content out, or probably not. We'll probably just do it for fun. A lot of guys in my Discord are sports fans, and I'm going to build a fantasy football database with my new web scraping and Python abilities, and I'll have some kind of sheet that'll rank, something fun, and we'll use some kind of data analysis, and we'll do it in fantasy football. Anyway, if anyone's interested in teaming up with me, let me know in Discord. We'll talk about it more later. Okay, so reveal next rank. I think when it gets down to the top 5, it ought to also reveal the 5-4. Oh, maybe it's in the hidden column. I think it does start in column F. I remember that from last night. They said, we're going to start it in column F. Is that all right with you? And I said, yes, it is. All right. Well, my bad on this. I know this doesn't make very compelling content. I need to design a macro where I could just hit a keystroke and I don't have to do this, right? This way we can look at the list again. But anyway, if we have any sports fans in there, I find that sports and the market lots of times exist in similar type worlds. I won the league 2 years ago. The league is it's a bunch of good people. It's a friend of mine. He's a retired policeman from Houston, and there's some other Houston people on there. Good people. It's not like an expert league where everyone's a shark, but there are 2 or 3 sharks in there. I don't know how I beat. I just had the perfect year 2 years ago. I just had the perfect year. All right, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm really not a pro guy. I wish they had fantasy college football. I don't know if it's going to do it because look, it's not. It's not doing what I said. All right. Well, I need to go argue with AI about that some more, I guess. Um, I looked at it last night, and I can tell you we can look and see what it's going to be. All right, gosh darn it, I'm sorry about that. All right, so here's what it's going to be. Okay, so we have all the days. So Monday was weak. You can take my word for it, but it's all the way down here because it's the highest ranking Monday payday as of right now. Because there's other ones, the other Monday paydays, according to YMAX, which is a really good site. You guys should go check it out. According to YMAX, the other Monday paydays are going to be COII, or the cool kids call this. Don't they call this TS2, NV2, MS? Anyway, whatever it is, there'll be something on here that's going to be weak. I guarantee you. It's just not old enough yet. So as soon as these come on there, they'll be included on there. But on Tuesday, here's our lineup. It can either be MST, YETH, or YBTC. So we'll go back to the max factor and take the one with the highest Tuesday payoff, and it is YBTC from Round Hill. So that's our Tuesday. So we have week, then we have YBTC. You cannot, but if I was you, just choose one of the other ones for Monday. It's just not had enough time to be on the max factor yet. But you could also just use your own brains and put something in there. But mathematically, it's going to be weak at this point, which is weak, and then YBTC. And there's not, but weak, government bonds are good. They're guaranteed. They don't have a lot of volatility associated with bonds. It's good for diversification stuff. Anyway, so that's our Tuesday is YBTC. So for Wednesday, we have a ton of choices. So on Wednesday, our top choice is going to be QDTY from Round Hill. As you guys know, I really like that fund. That thing's a monster. It is an absolute monster. All right, so that's Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we're going to have... What's going on with Thursday? There's no way that TQQY is really our best Thursday lineup. Let's look over here at Yield Night. Go check out Amy Round Hill's channel. She's something else. It's called Bad Financial Decisions. I'm so jealous of this. This is so good. All right. Well, okay, there's a fail for the freaking... Look at ULTY as a Wednesday pay. Huh. Well, that's not AI's fault. That's my own fault. So ULTY is our top Wednesday one, not whichever one I said. Yeah, I put Friday. Gosh darn it. I'm sorry. Well, even if the list would have run, it would have been wrong. It would have been wrong anyway. Story of my life. All right, there it is. All right. Anyway, so that's Wednesday. Then Thursday was kind of slim pickings, but I'm not buying Thursday. I've got that jacked up too. Let's use our own judgment. Thursday, well, yeah, these haven't been around long enough to make the max factor. I really like Maggie. I think it turns 3 months old on August 2nd. So we'll have that one on there soon. These other ones, I know people that are in TSYY and like it. So those are the Granite Shares ones. But anyway, so we have that. And then on Friday, we have all the Round Hill ones. So this has got to be PLTW, right? Or NVDW, probably, whichever one's highest on the max factor. You got good choices on Friday. So the top Friday one is NVDW. Yeah. So that's the lineup right there. You have week, whatever. You guys just heard him. Week, half those weren't even right. But anyway, I definitely like Alti on Wednesday, and I definitely like NVDW on Friday. Go in there for Monday and for Thursday and choose one you're comfortable with if you're trying to do this yourself. All right. I hope everyone's favorite list made this. Or favorite ETF. I'm trying to be fair. And I'm trying not to it is called the max factor. So it does focus a little bit on safety, but I had a previous version of the max factor, which is over focused on safety. So this is the first week it's been redesigned. For instance, ULTY didn't even make the top 20 last time, and neither did Misty. But anyway, Misty was in the top 20 all week long, and then it fell out. It had a down day on Friday. It went underneath its 50-period moving average. It affected its momentum number. Yes, it still has good other stuff, but it's looking for a combination of the three. So my blocks tracker, I'm just trying here. Let me show you what my ULTY tracker is trying to be. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's look at the old Alti tracker. All right. The Alti tracker. This is all right. The daily trades. Okay. So I got it where it can. Okay. So right here, so in other words, they bought 35,000 30. They bought a bunch of shares of this stock at $28. Well, what is that stock? Well, we can go to QSIP tools, select a QSIP. I cannot get them to automatically replace it, and now it's not working. Anyway, well, this is what I was having trouble with yesterday. But basically, what it's going to show is it has all the. I want to show all the positions. Just so you guys remember my Altiverse, I want to be able to look at this. This is their allocations. This is how much they have in each company or cash. Easy peasy, right? And so it's going to do that every day, but then it's going to make a database of it. Then the next day, it's not going to erase this one. It's going to put it below or whatever. And then it's also going to show the change. But what really matters is here's all the Alti option positions, but the trades. Then it's going to go through and look at the daily trades, and it can pull the option premium out. It'll pull the premium out, and it'll divide the premium by the assets under management, and we'll know what the dividend's going to be, or we'll know how much they're making, how much of the dividend could theoretically be. Jay's going to pay whatever he's going to pay, but generally the dividend is just the SSs. That's a short sell. That's where they get premium income from. But you have to subtract the Bs, because when they B, that's the other part of the spread. That's that these guys run callers, covered callers, and so they're buying puts. So in this case, look, they sold the 460 in Coinbase, but then they bought the 360. So if Coinbase drops under 360, they're covered. I mean, but they still realize the loss down to 360. So that's all that's going to do. You won't believe how long it took me to get the alternating colors and to get the row put in between. And but now, and I'm trying to get them to do the math part of it. And I do have a slick thing where this is supposed to work. I don't know why this doesn't work. I had this working for a while last night, where you could highlight the thing, go to QSIP tools, and it would tell me that is Coinbase or whatever. And once I do that, I'll eventually be able to have them to replace the number with the Coinbase. But anyway, it's just going to show us what they're buying and selling and what they own on a daily basis. And that would be really fun to do in blocks also. If I could get it working in this, the jury's still out on that. It'll be. I'm gonna do it in blocks. Let me see what this daily trade database is. This is where the math. But yeah, AI is a liar, and it acts. AI has Dunning-Kruger, Kruger-Dunning, whatever that's called, and it's a liar lots of the times. I mean, I haven't tell AI, you told me this 5 minutes ago, and then I did this, and now it's saying this, and now you're saying this. What? Lots of times I just tell it, no, I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous. I don't know what AO is doing here. This is the daily trade database. We need this to figure out something else, but they're going to be able to go through here and just total up how much premium income they got, basically. Well, thank you, Froggy. I appreciate you. I appreciate your dedication to show up at these live streams all the time. Okay, Michael, you like TSYY and NVDW. Yeah, you use them. And I believe somebody else on our Discord that I was talking to is using TSYY and then hedging it with something. not with crash, hedging it with YQQQ, or I think, or something. But anyway, but using a combo trade and really liking it as well. I think, and really liking it. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, no, Amy's is wonderful. Yield night is absolutely incredible. So yeah, another thing is there's not room enough. I don't. She's trying to do a dividend tracker where you can say, hey, if I put $10,000 in this at the end of the year, how much, or for the month, quarter, and year, what would my dividend be? And that's great. That's great. So I don't want to do that. I'm not really focused as much on the dividend as I'm looking at this more like fantasy football. Each ETF is like drafting a player, and I don't really care that I'm going to earn. The dividend isn't really what matters to me. What I'm looking for is something that's going to pay me a yield with a lot of safety, And so that's why I'm trying to go a different direction. But I'm going to use her site. I did use her site. I'm not data scraping it, but I used her site to get the pay dates because she has them all in one place. And I don't know how I messed up all these. It was late last night, but I went through her site line by line and put my paydays on there, and made sure they aligned. And I just think that was something else or whatever. But yeah. So her site's great for that. But I'm trying to I want to show which ones are the best buys. I mean, I don't care that that if I put 10,000 in here, I can have 5,000 by the end of the year, because you can't really have 5,000. You might get you'll get 5,000 maybe yield, but what's that going to do to your? I'm more looking at the big picture. But anyway, that's kind of my specialty. So yeah, I'm definitely not trying to step on her toes. She does a great job, and that thing is the best dividend tracker on the internet. I mean, or the best one I've run across. But yeah, so mine's more like I've called mine Max's Moneyball. I'm trying to think of a branding, but I think the Max factor's fine. I mean, I just want to look at the overall investment, the whole investment. But then I also want to show stuff like it's just not working right now, like be able to instantly pull the get paid every day list. Once we have more on there, that list is going to be more fun. There's just nothing to choose from right now. But as soon as we start getting more history, that get paid every day list may be more helpful than the top 20, or as helpful in a different way, because it's just weekly. I bet you there's some of you guys that won't even mess with the monthly. I mean, I'm just guessing, but anyway, so if that's you, I'm trying to make stuff that helps you guys, but I'm also trying to show, because what's really important in these isn't the dividend. The dividend is not important, but it's part of the total return, and it's how they make the dividend. What do they have to obligate themselves to do to get that dividend? And what does that obligation do to the total return stream? So that's, like I say, I'm trying to just stay in my lane. That's my specialty, is the option part of it. So anyway, but the Alti tracker basically is going to be like a trade tracker. And I used to do the Altiverse, and I thought it was wonderful. Remember, I used to have the Chippyverse and the GPTY verse, and those are all coming back. And I'm probably going to work on it all day again today on the Alti tracker. But those are coming back, and then we're going to have the blocks verse. And we'll look, at a trade level, what they're doing and how much premium they're making on a daily basis. For a while, I kind of had that working. Remember, I had something that was tracking the Misty's premium, and I was just getting into Python then. But knowing what I know now, I'm going to go back and make it way better. But I really think you guys will like it. But then I don't know if I'm ever going to be. I know I'm not going to ever be as talented as Amy. But what I'm hoping is once I get once I get this back end working, this database, that I believe that I can also have AI design something where it doesn't look like a spreadsheet, like Amy's doesn't look like a spreadsheet, where it has a GUI or something. But I'm so far away from that right now. I need to get the back end working reliably, and then I'll put some kind of GUI on top of it or something. So I'm looking forward to doing all that. I love to do that kind of stuff. But like I say, I'm frustrated that AI likes to lie so much. But anyway, it's whatever. It's whatever. The main thing I'm frustrated with AI about is that all these people say, just have AI write your videos. AI can choose the topic. It can whatever. Yeah, and it writes the corniest. Someday I'll do an AI video, and I'll just read it like they wrote it, and I'll show you. I mean, I just, like I say, no one that we watch does it. Amy certainly doesn't do it. I always really I like SoCal Steve-O. I watch his content. I like Brad. I like I really like Health and Wealth and Ambassadors of Quan. Whatever. None of them use AI. It's all from their own brain. Thank God. Thank God. But yeah, AI is way overrated, at least at this point right now. All right. So by the way, the Discord. Oh, it. Yeah. Okay. What? No. Yeah. Gosh darn it. They only give you. Yeah. They you have to get a fresh invitation all the time or so. I don't understand why that. I just have to go up here and I right click on my Max fan, which I don't. That's kind of a dumb name, but I don't know. It just asked me to put something when I was signing up. I didn't even know if I liked Discord, so I just typed in the first thing that came to mind. Anyway, but yeah, YMAX is fantastic for dividend type stuff. For a dividend calculator, it's like a dividend calculator on steroids. And like I say, and I'm not trying to build that. That is. I'll leave that to the other people. All right, but anyway, let me give this to you guys. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, I need to remember to put a new one up all the time. I don't know how long it lasts for, but if I gave one in a video last week, somebody watches my video today and they click on it, it's not. I don't know how to get a permalink or whatever. I should put it somehow in every description of every video, but you can't because it changes. So, anyway, all right. Well, I appreciate everyone being here. I'm just making sure I haven't missed any comments. I cannot believe there's still 13 people. This is the best live stream I've had in a while, and I really appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here and go fight with that. I'm going to go get something to eat. I'm starving, and I'm going to go get in the middle of the Alti tracker, and I'm not trying to make so much a dividend predictor. That's more for Rod, but I wanted just the math of it. How much premium income have we got? How much assets under management? That implies a dividend, and that's close enough for me. That's close enough for me. Oh, I can get a permalink? Okay. Well, there's a YouTube tutorial. Okay. All right, all right. So here's what else I need to do. Ask me. Here's something that drives me crazy. Does anyone know how to do this? Okay, so let's go over here. Let's go over to YouTube. Like this whole video is not getting monetized right now. There's 15 watching. There it is. But you go to your videos. Does anyone know anything about AI agents? That's what I need to do next. I'm on the wrong darn profile. What in the heck? I know Rod has this problem because I've seen him talk about it before. But I was just thinking I could have an AI agent just get the fresh link for me and put it in my videos. The other thing the really thing that makes me mad is on a live stream. It doesn't happen on a pre-recorded video, but on a live stream. If you don't go over here, see this monetization, it's off. If I don't go over here and check this and hit save, so right now, anything I've done, and there's already been 46 views, and that the most of your views come while you're live. So it doesn't count. It's part, I keep saying my station makes less and less and less money every month, and I work harder and harder. Well, it's partly my fault because I do live streams, and sometimes I forget to come over here. I don't come over here till it's over. But that's ridiculous. I mean, because the one thing is I have to build the live stream first. A lot of times I build a live stream and go live right then. You can't do this until you go live. Like I say, lots of times I forget. Anyway, just YouTube stuff that aggravates me. But yeah, that's if I would stop doing live streams and start doing recorded shows, yes, my station would probably start doing a little better. But anyway, it is what it is. We're going to win fantasy football this year. That's why I need a manager. I need a manager and a co-owner, and we're going to win fantasy football this year. And I'll be hands off. I'm not going to be like Jerry Jones. I'm hands off. I'll be a silent partner. I'll let you, whoever it is, I'll let you guys run the team. All right. I'm not going to be no Jerry Jones. I'm not going to mess stuff up. All right. I'm not like that. No, I just want to, the other thing is I really don't focus too hard on it. I'd like to focus on the other stuff, and I thought it might be fun though. All right. Does it turn on after you finish? No, nope. And so if I'll come the next day sometimes and have a live stream that got 50 views or something, and it's not monetized. It doesn't matter because my monetization, it doesn't. I don't get very many watch hours. I used to when I first started. I'd get 1,000 people every time I did anything. Now I get 12, and I'm happy with it because for a long time I was getting 5 or 6. So 12 is the best I've done in forever. But yeah, I didn't even know you had a channel. 3,500 watch hours. Yeah, they have some minimum you have to meet. It was easy for me to meet the minimum because I was getting 1,000 views every video I put out at first. I guess there wasn't any. I was the only influencer that understood how options work. Really, at that time, all the other influencers were saying, "Now, I'm not an option trader myself," but they had good content. I'm not an option trader myself, but so then lots of times they would say stuff that'd be factually inaccurate, not maliciously. So I really made my video to explain my station to explain how erosion works and how it doesn't work, and just to try to educate people on option. Now there's 1,000 stations that do the same thing, so it's all good. If you want a good AI service that gives access to most services in one place, check out Monica IM. Okay, I'll check that out. Can usually get it 50% off. What are we doing inverse funds today? Well, the inverse funds, are we doing it? Yeah. I could rank the inverses on a separate list, couldn't I? I didn't even think about that. But that's going to be like the best of the worst. Here's what I figured. I want to allocate my model portfolio to whatever's the hottest. I like the Dorsey Wright concept, but I just don't like the execution of it that much. Anyway, so I'm really trying to rip off Dorsey Wright. And instead of they use momentum, but they measure it with some esoteric point and figure charting. Well, it's all the same. You can use moving averages also, and you can, but that's basically what I'm trying to do. So what I don't want to see any inverses on my top list when the market's melting up. Because I want to be in the best fund. When the market goes down, those inverses will go up to number one. And if I was trying to allocate into a bear market, the max factor will show some more conservative, maybe funds up there. And so anyway, it's showing what I want it to show. But yeah, I guess I can make a separate list of the inverses. There's really not that much right now. You have YQQ. What else do you have between YQQ? You have crash, fiat. They need to come out with short salty, and they need to just use the same stocks. Some people think they should use different stocks. No, those stocks will do terrible if the market goes down because they're high beta. That's the way it works. Just use the same universe of stocks, sell covered puts on salty, and sell covered calls or covered callers on. They'll use a reverse caller to cap their upside loss on salty, but reverse callers on salty, same stocks, and that would be awesome. Triple inverse, yeah. Okay, well, no, triple inverse. Okay, now those don't qualify. Okay, I like the triple inverse. No shade thrown at the triple inverse. They don't pay a yield, or they don't pay a regular yield. You have TQQ, which is that's SQQ would be the inverse. Yeah, nothing wrong with them, but to be in the max factor, you have to pay a 6% yield. And at least you have to pay a 50% premium over the free rate of money, so government bonds are 4.25, so 6 or whatever. So yeah, SQQQ is never going to be in there. My list is exclusively for yield funds, but YQQ will be in there if next time the market goes down. Look at the last time the market went down. YQQ in this quarter, Feb 15th to March, April, May. Well, they were down for that quarter, but it didn't drop long enough. But in a prolonged bear market, YQQ is going to go right to the head of the class. YQQ is awesome. I love this thing. I have about 15% of this in my model, or 13% of this in my model portfolio, and I'm very happy with it. And it pays. It pays. Look at this. It's paying a 27% yield. It pays more like 20, really. That's because it's on a declining base of assets. But okay, did I see your comment? Okay. Well, Michael, I mean, I saw that comment. Um, I saw your comment about, or I saw Froggy's comment about Monica. I'll check out Monica. She sounds hotter than Claude. I'd rather have an assistant named Monica than Claude, right? Or Grok. Grok does a good job. Michael, drop a link to your channel sometime in Discord. Oh, you mentioned that you use Abacus AI. I did not see that. It could be because I just get talking and I skip past it, but I did not see Abacus AI. Now they have agents, right? That's a good one. The Abacus AI, I think they have agents, but that's what I need to learn how to do is program an agent. Another thing I'd like an agent to do is every time I go live, just go to Discord and post the live link. If it could do that and it could go turn on the monetization, that would be huge. Oh, here's another thing. We were talking about this yesterday in Discord. What about all the spam comments that hit on my videos about, some crypto thing, or, you need to call Mrs. Jackson and she can help you with your crypto investments or whatever. I'd love to have an agent go nuke all those. I nuke them whenever I'm bored and I have my phone. I'll go through and nuke them. I don't really check the comments on YouTube as often as I used to. When I first came out, that was everything because I didn't have a Discord. So I was always living in those comments. Nowadays, most people that want to say something serious to me are on my Discord and will just write a Discord message. But there are people that don't do Discord. So I do try to check the comments at least a couple, 3 times a week and make sure I haven't missed anything, but it's usually just junk. Okay, well, so I need Nightbot for the live chat. Okay, it's free. And also maybe pick up a moderator. Make a moderator. So make an agent that's a moderator. So if somebody gets on here and says something inappropriate, I used to not block people, but there's one person that came on here every time and he's just an asshole. Forget who it was. So I finally just blocked him. But I forget the screen name. But then since then I really just haven't had a problem. Since I blocked that one person, I haven't had a troll in the live stream in forever. Could be though, as my live streams get bigger, the trolls will show up. There's more of you showing up right now. There's 16 of you, probably people getting home from church. Nightbot is a moderator agent. Okay, I'll look into that. But yeah, somebody I can trust to help. And I've asked a couple of people before. What I'll do whenever I have Jay on is I'll go to YouTube and I right click on one of you and I can make you a moderator. I think I did that to Dan last time, or to maybe SB, or maybe Dan and SB last time I had Jay on because I didn't want any. And we didn't get one trolly comment. But yeah, I do. Whenever I have somebody big on, I appoint moderators. Okay, yeah, of course we're interested. I just don't know how to pronounce your name, Ofer. Anyway, if anyone is interested, I bought Clip and sold LSE just because I'm fed up chasing the US dollar. Yeah. I mean, that Clip's doing well. I mean, it's the year of international stocks, I guess, right? And you manage many channels. You're happy to help. Okay, well, good. Next time I have a YouTube problem, I need to ask you about it. I think maybe you told me that a long time ago, but I didn't. I forgot about that. So anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm hungry. It's 11:52 here in Hill Country, and it is time to eat. I'm gonna go have. I'm stuck between a plate of nachos and I have a frozen TV dinner. I think I'm gonna go with the TV dinner. Oh, and I also have salad. I'm gonna make a Caesar salad. I got romaine and all that good stuff yesterday. But anyway, good to see you. Good to see everyone. And you say nacho. Yeah, I love me a plate of nachos. I don't think it's the best health decision to eat nachos too often. But a plate of nachos is always good with me. Always good with me. Yeah, the salad's really good too. Salad's really good too. So last night, what I had for dinner was I got a bunch of romaine. I got three. Are those hearts? Romaine heart? What are those called? Anyway, I got three bunches of romaine, and so I have enough. That's enough to make three salads. I had one last night. I'll have one today and one tomorrow. I love a good salad. So yeah, I remember I have salad and then some type of snack later or something. Yeah, taco salad would be good right now. Also, Brad's looking out for my weight, and Brad's an ex-athlete also, and so us athletes. I'm not an athlete. I'm an athlete wannabe, but they know about staying in shape. They know their body's their temple, right? I believe Brad's an athlete. I think a lot of you guys are. I know SB is athletic. Summit Man. Okay, comments and likes on YouTube seem to make differences for the algorithm. Okay, well, yeah, that's good. And I never say, hey, go give me a thumbs up. I never ask people to subscribe. I mean, anyway, but go give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you don't already. I appreciate it. Leave a nice comment. Yeah, hit that like button. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. I never pander for likes. But you know one other thing I never do, which I hope you guys appreciate? I never say, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is if you want to sue me, go ahead. I mean, that's that's what I figure. That's not going to stop anyone anyway. Just because you say this is for entertainment purposes anyway, if you're doing something that runs afoul of the SEC, they're going to come after you. I'm not doing anything that runs afoul of the SEC. I don't believe. I take every bit of caution to say use a financial planner. This is for me, not for you. But I just hate the over disclosure. I mean, I get the people who don't want to get sued. I don't want to get sued either. I'm not really saying sue me, but I'm just saying, anyway, you need a dual stream YouTube and okay, yeah, that's what else. I need to start concentrating on the X. I saw what Retire on Dividends has done with his X feed, and he's doing great. And yeah, he has a lot of people and stuff, but I do need to, and also Ambassador Jonathan, I do want to start doing some X spaces. And I don't expect to have a huge audience over there, but you're right. I need to figure out how to live stream it, and that will also help. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate it. I'm going to get out of here. Thankfully, your stream can be multi-stream. StreamYard can multi-stream, exactly. So I could also stream to Facebook, but that's where all the trolls live. I used to use Facebook influencing, but those guys over there, not that there's not some nice guys over there too, but Facebook is full of trolls. I mean, those guys have, everyone on Facebook fully believes in erosion. They just, the erosion. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. I'll talk to you later. See ya. Thanks for showing up. Hit that like button on your way out the door.